What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday evening. We just ended another kind of boring episode of Big Brother. But before we get into that, make sure that you like this video. Also subscribe to my channel. I put videos out about Big Brother every Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday after the show. Usually they're a little bit more exciting than tonight's episode that we saw on TV. But anyways, just subscribe. You'll see more. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at ActuallyRach. Now that all that's out of the way, let's dive into Big Brother, shall we? A couple of things that happened that were on my highlight list was that why are Nicole and Dani choosing to lie to each other already? I think that this is a little too early. I think it's a little too soon for their games. There's still like, what, 10 people in the house? 9 people in the house? Something like that. Like, there's a lot of people still left, and I don't think that they need to turn on each other just quite yet. But throughout this episode, that kind of looks like that's where we're going. So, it is what it is with that. Dani is such a good player, but she plays so dirty. Like, I think I need to go back and watch her seasons. I was just speaking with a friend earlier today, and I think that I need to do that because I feel like it will help me understand her a bit better and not think that she's just mean. Things that stood out to me the most had a lot of Dani in it this evening. Her talking to Memphis about her power, saying, hey, I can help the committee and I can use my power for allowing you to play in this next HOH, which Memphis was like, hold up, girl, I don't want to play in this. But he didn't tell her that. He wanted to make her, I guess, think, oh, thank you for doing me a favor, when she was like, you're welcome for doing you a favor. It's like they were thinking the same thing, but on opposite ends of the spectrum. Dani does use her power. The replay power is now out of commission, and so is Christmas's power that she never used because Christmas sucks. All the powers are out, and Memphis is going to play in the HOH. Speaking of the HOH, this is a pretty intricate HOH, if you ask me. What the HOH was called was Going for the Green. It was obviously golf related, and you had 3 different balls that you could use, and there were 2 different sides, and they had numbers, and you had to hit your ball and go around, and one side was for the prizes, which ended up being $10,000. The other side was for the HOH. More people than not played for the money and not the HOH, so that's interesting. That kind of shows you how comfortable some of these people are. Tyler goes and he shoots for both, and he gets pretty good on both, but he was one of the only, I think he was the only one that went for both. So he's sitting pretty comfortable, I guess. But Nicole doesn't go for the money at all. She knows that her game is getting found out pretty quickly this year, and so she goes for the HOH. Memphis, of course, throws the competition all together. I mean, if I had a chance for $10,000, I think I'd at least try for that, but whatever. Kevin doesn't go for the money at all. He goes for the HOH. He second guesses himself, but ended up at the end, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but he had like a really good shot, and he goes back, and then he gets out of bounds, which is stupid. But anyway, Dani goes just for the money. She doesn't want HOH. Obviously, I don't blame her. She had to put up 4 people on her HOH, so she already got enough blood on her hands as it is. But she ends up going for the money, and she's tied with Tyler on the number. So David obviously wants HOH. He doesn't have any friends, any allies really, and he doesn't do that great per usual on his first and second shot. His third shot was alright. Still not good enough. Christmas, I don't even know what she did. I'm pretty sure she got out of bounds because she sucks, but she is being so cocky and so snippy, and she literally thinks that her shit don't stink. And I got news for you, girl. You need to like stop, because you're not that good at this game. Like, you think you're sitting pretty and you're high, but like, you really suck. And a lot of these people are like catching on to what you're doing. Enzo goes for the money. He's not really interested in HOH. He is sitting real pretty. As far as I'm concerned, Enzo is sitting the prettiest in this entire house. Like, Cody goes last, and they set it up to where he shoots a shot and you don't see what he gets, and then he comes back and there's the result. So you never really see how, like what he ends up getting. So the way that they edited it was they started with the results and ended up saying that 2 people ended up winning the money, which we knew was Tyler and Dani, so they had to split it. Each got $5,000. And then it showed that Cody ended up shooting a 2. So Cody is the new HOH. So I was really excited to hear this, obviously. But then again, I was like, oh my God, next weekend it is a triple eviction. And I'm just like, could you waited like 1 week? I don't know. Like, because nobody really knows how this triple eviction is going to go, or even how it's going to be set up, because it's never happened before. So I'm interested to see it, obviously. But I'm also worried because I'm like, oh God, because I mean, I like other people, but Cody is still my number 1. He's gonna be. So with him winning this HOH, going into the triple, he's not gonna be able to even play at all. He's a sitting duck. So he better hope that Enzo wins for him. Because if Enzo wins and they do whatever they do, hopefully he's fine. At the end of the competition, Kevin's crying, David's complaining, Christmas is being a bitch. Like, they all suck so bad, man. Like, all they do is whine and complain. And I really want to be on the David train. Like, I think he has finally gotten what Big Brother is. I think he's finally learned how to play this game. And I like David. I think he's an underdog, and I think that he could do some things. But all he does is complain. Spoiler alert, we all knew who was going to be on the block. He starts talking about the end, how he's going to play for the veto, and he's going to win the veto, and da-da-da-da-da. So he goes from complaining to, like, being his number 1 hype man, which is what I've seen all season. They start kind of chit-chatting around and talking, and Enzo ends up telling Cody about the Wise Guys alliance that Memphis has finagled up with the 4 of them, but only 3 of them at a time. No. So they are on to Christmas. They are on seeing kind of where she's at and how she's playing. And I think she thinks she's playing a great game, but she's not. So Cody apparently told Enzo about the committee, so he knows about this big grand alliance. But then again, Enzo turns back around and tells Cody about the other Wise Guys. So they are so great together, and they're not giving me Cody Derek vibes, but they're working together as such. So I'm pulling for those 2. I'm obviously pulling for Tyler. Like, I really hope that these guys make it to the end. I really hope that at some point Enzo and Cody kind of grasp Tyler in a little more and like let him in on some of this stuff that they know, but we'll see what happens. Then Cody starts talking about his hit list and like what order he wants what people to go. So he's like, Kevin's got to go, Christmas has got to go, and then he starts talking about Dani's got to go, which is kind of interesting to me because I didn't really think that they were going to turn on each other this fast. But if you think about it, in 3 weeks, that's quick. So we'll see. And none of them are thinking about a double. None of them are thinking about, excess evictions. I know that they know it has to happen, but they thought it was last week. So I wonder what they truly think is going to happen. One more and one final kind of thought here is that, well, actually there's 2. But with Nicole is acting real stupid. And I'm usually positive about Nicole. I like her game. Unpopular opinion, but whatever. She does not think that Christmas is going after her at all, which Christmas has kind of kept this under wraps from what I know. I don't think she's been going around spreading it, so that's good on her. Cody's thing was Christmas has to go. She's starting to be in the midst of a lot of the mess that is going on, especially ever since her HOH. So he's like, she's got to go. And Nicole's like, why? That's stupid. There's no reason for her to go. And so in her diary room, she was like, well, I don't think Christmas is coming after me, da-da-da-da-da. But then you pop over to Christmas's diary room and she's like, Dani's got to go, Nicole's got to go. They're my number 1 targets. If I was HOH, they're both going on the block and they can sit there and da-da-da-da-da. Ugh. Nicole's got to open her eyes. She's got to start listening more. She's got to start reading people better, because if not, she sure as hell ain't going to get very much further. because Cody cannot drag her on. As much as they say they're aligned and they're playing together, they really don't seem like they're playing together. I think they truly have each other's back when it comes down to it, but I don't think that they are giving game information to each other very much. And then the last little thing that I want to touch on is this Kevin and Cody beef that came to fruition on this episode. And it's like, Kevin clearly doesn't like Cody. You can tell. And I don't know if it's something personal or if it's just from the game and how he knows that, Cody's in power again and he's a part of this, alliance of the house that's running everything. So I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's something he personally doesn't like about Cody, but he went in there in this conversation literally I hate Cody. I don't want to go talk to Cody, but I have to. And he literally opened the door and he's like, Cody, what can I do to not be nominated again? I don't really think that that's the way you go about a conversation, especially when you're trying to save your game's life. So I think he went into it with an attitude. I think he went into it negative, and clearly Cody didn't take well to that. And I don't think he was disrespectful and rude, but he kind of got his point across that you're kind of attacking me and you need to chill. So I don't want to say anything negative about Kevin because I do like Kevin. And as you know, if you watched my last videos, that I think that they could bring Kevin in and work with him and be something great, but they won't. And that's one thing that Enzo did say in his diary room, that people need to stop going after the Kevins and the Davids and start going after the Dannys, the Christmases, the Memphis. These people are the ones that you need to worry about, because if they get too far, it's going to be too late. And I know we all don't want to see Memphis and Christmas win this game. So they need to start doing that. And Enzo needs to start putting those bugs in their ears more than he is. Either that or he needs to win an HOH and just get them out, which would be best case scenario on Thursday at this triple eviction. Wrapping this up, the nomination ceremony, we knew who was going to be nominated. You could tell. It's simple for Cody. I see where he's going at. He doesn't really play with either of them. He don't know anything about either of their games. So Kevin was an obvious choice, especially after the little spat that they had. And then David, he doesn't really talk game. He doesn't really play with David. I think he could, but he won't, and he won't try. But he also says that he doesn't want David to go home. So Kevin is his target thus far. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday night with the veto, which the veto on Wednesday is OTEV, and I'm really excited to see how OTEV is playing out this week. Cody's going to get to play at OTEV, which is cool, and, Kevin and David, they can fight for their lives and see what they can do. But anyways, I will see you all on Wednesday night. Again, if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. I will see you all on Tuesday for my next Dancing with the Stars recap. So if you want to see that, I will link it above. Just click it. This was the last one, the week 2 Dancing with the Stars recap. I will be putting a new one out on Tuesday night. And then I will see you again for another Big Brother recap on Wednesday night to see how this veto plays out. I will see you guys then. Bye.